Hello, my lovely group in Your Health in Your Hands. Today I wanted to take a couple of moments to talk about one of my all-time favorite oils, which is frankincense. Now, frankincense is known as the king of essential oils. If you don't know what oils to use for which problems, you can pretty much use frankincense for everything. If it's therapeutic grade, certified pure quality, like doTERRA's is the only one I trust, to be honest, and I'll tell you more why. You can use it internally. So if I get a headache or I'm feeling really particularly bad or stressed for whatever reason, or if I want to meditate or just be still and calm, I take a drop under my tongue. I'll put a drop in my hand and just massage it around my temples, the back of the neck, anywhere I feel tense or feel pain, and then just sit and inhale the rest from my hands for a few moments through my nose. And inhaling it that way, it's pretty instant. It just goes straight through your nose to your brain into the limbic system. And within minutes my headache was just gone, and I just felt calm, and I slept really well that night, which usually I don't if I go to bed with a headache. So that's my one little testimonial, but there's so many more reasons to love frankincense. There's no accident that it was given to Jesus by the three wise men. That in olden times it was more valued than gold, and one of the things I wanted to say about why it's so important to buy it from a reputable source is its sourcing and its purity. So frankincense trees grow in the desert, so in places like Oman and Somalia. And they're kind of a relative of the pine tree, if you like, but they are a desert dwelling. And you have to extract the resin by gently cutting a piece of the bark, letting the resin drip out and leaving it for a few days, and then coming back to collect that resin, which will have solidified, and then maybe repeatedly cutting it, but not too much because you don't want to damage the trees. So harvesting of frankincense is extremely labor intensive, and you have to wander around the desert for months at a time collecting the resin. Now ideally frankincense should be harvested from any one tree every other year to preserve the tree, because over harvesting is obviously going to damage the tree. Now apparently it takes about 30 years for a tree to be mature enough to be harvested from, but once it's mature they can live for hundreds of years. There are trees that we don't know how old they are. They may be 800,000 years old, we just don't know. Now the problem is that I did quite a bit of research on this because I was just really interested, and I came across videos, which if I can still find them and they're still live, I'll post them below, talking about how in Oman, for example, because around Oman and Somalia there's been so much war and unrest and people have been really desperate, then as a result the trees are over harvested. So instead of harvesting each tree every other year, they might harvest them twice a year. Now as a result, thousands of frankincense trees have died, and it's contributed to the deforestation of the area. Now considering the frankincense trade has been existed for over 1,000, 2,000 years, that's a real shame if frankincense trees were to be wiped out by over harvesting now. So it's really important that you get your frankincense from a trusted and ethical company. So what doTERRA do, as they do with all their oil that they source anywhere in the world, they cut out all the middlemen and they go straight to the harvesters. And in the case of frankincense, they had to say to them, well, how much would we need to pay you so that you can afford to harvest only every other year, or harvest sustainably and protect the trees from poachers, so that other people aren't coming in and damaging the trees. So as a result, I've heard, I haven't seen this written down, but it's what I understood from my research. Apparently doTERRA now pay more in 1 month to the harvesters than previously the harvesters might have received in a whole year. So obviously this is making a massive difference on the ground to the people who know best how to preserve these trees and who have lived and evolved with these trees for generations, and to the sustainability for the future of this precious, precious oil and precious resource. So the other reason why it's really important to buy frankincense from a trusted source, apart from the ethics and the sustainability, is the purity and the quality. Now, there's a whole 20-minute lecture with Dr. Robert Pappas, who's a PhD chemist and who specialises in essential oils. And he's independent of doTERRA or Young Living or any other company. And he, from his experience of decades of analysing oils, including frankincense, he has found that many other companies, many of the cheaper companies, you can buy a bottle for £4.50 of frankincense, but it will be nothing like the quality of doTERRA, I promise you. And what he's found with the cheaper off-the-shelf brands is that one of the key components in frankincense, if you look at the graph of the chemical makeup, is very similar, if not virtually chemically identical, to one of the key compounds found in turpentine. So what many other companies do is they extract this compound from turpentine, which is also from a tree, it's a natural product, and they cut the frankincense with this extract from turpentine. So it smells, if you don't know the difference, very similar and has similar chemical compounds, but at the end of the day it's very toxic. You wouldn't want to be putting terps on your skin or taking it internally, or even I wouldn't want to diffuse it or use it in a massage or use it for anything other than cleaning paint off brushes. That's what terps is used for. So it becomes highly toxic, and those companies have to say on their bottles in big bold letters not to be taken internally, because they know it is toxic. It's not 100% pure frankincense. And on top of that, they also dilute it with a carrier oil, so it might be only 10% essential oil, whether that's synthetic, natural, or some other natural product other than what it's supposed to be, and then 90% carrier oil. And so often the carrier oils quickly go stale and rancid, so you're not getting the potency, you're not getting the effectiveness, you're not getting the purity, and it's just nothing like when you buy frankincense straight from doTERRA. It's nothing like the same quality. So frankincense, because it is so labour intensive and scarce and such a precious resource on this planet, is one of the more expensive essential oils. Hi Kylie, nice to see you. That doTERRA have. So the wholesale price is about £57 for a 15ml bottle. They do a smaller roller bottle, I think it's about £30. But it's so worth it. And some of the uses are, I mean, if you look at PubMed, so this is a conventional medical database that you would look for medical research. There's about 80 different studies that have been done in conjunction with frankincense and cancer. So if you just look up frankincense and cancer in PubMed, you get, I think it's, last time I looked, it's about 80 different studies. So it's very widely known, will becoming widely known for its antioxidative properties, and very anti-inflammatory, so which is what we all need, whether it's chronic diseases like arthritis. I give it to my mum for arthritis, or things like cancer. It's also widely used in the beauty industry. So a lot of the anti-aging creams, I mean, personally I'm pro-aging. Look, I've got all my grey hairs. I welcome the aging process, but we still want to keep our health and vitality for as long as possible, as much as possible. So many of us enjoy frankincense for its healing and rejuvenating properties. So it's used in a lot of the skincare products. It's in Immortelle, which is doTERRA's wonderful blend of all the most healing skin oils they can think of, all in one blend, and it smells divine. It's very calming, feels amazing on the skin. And people use it for the vanity of, you know, around their eyes and their laughter lines and stuff, and then they end up finding that their eyesight improves, or some chronic ear or eye infection disappears. So they're not necessarily expecting it to be as powerfully healing as it is when they start off using it just for the vanity of perfect skin. So that's, I think, pretty much everything I wanted to say about frankincense. Also, it's just really, really wonderful to use in meditation and relaxation, so in the yoga environment. So if you're using it in a yoga class, you're a yoga teacher or you're a massage therapist, it's also wonderful for massage or to diffuse. Some people find that because it's so heavily used within so many religions, that the smell can spark, you know, if you're using it in a public environment with a lot of people and you don't necessarily know them very well, it can spark in some people all sorts of memories which they maybe don't want in that situation, of weddings or funerals or whatever, a kind of. And so another way to use it is to use the blend called Balance, which is frankincense based, but then it's also blended with lots of other pine oils, and that is one of my favorite blends. So you get all the benefits of frankincense that we've just been talking about, of calming, but it doesn't have that same sort of religious connotation which some people find a bit much, because it smells a bit different. So Balance or Immortelle are two blends that use the frankincense but are a bit different. And Balance to me feels like walking through a forest. It's that calming, and that's just what it feels like. So that's all my little tips for frankincense, and I hope you enjoy yours if you've already had some. It comes, a 5 milliliter bottle comes in the Family Physician Kit, which is the most basic family starter kit. But I use it up so quickly that if you save up your loyalty rewards points, so if you're ordering something every month, so long as it reaches a minimum amount, you can earn product points which you can spend on free things. So things like frankincense, which might be a bit more expensive than what you might otherwise like to spend, you can save up your free products points, which is what I'm doing this month, and I'm getting a free bottle of frankincense. So that's all my tips for you. And I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.